Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay. This time it is Game 4, I want to say. Game 4 featuring Ares Todes. In our top right-hand side, our Masters level Zerg, and his opponent in the bottom left, wArSF, our Masters level Terran. He's in the purple trunks in case you are colorblind or just don't have your eyes on the monitor. I do this all the time. I have a stream up on the right monitor, and then I'm doing something very important on the left monitor, and so I'm not even paying attention. So that's why I pay attention to the colors. I pay attention to the colors. And this is game 4 of the best of 5 practice replays. Todes just found somebody on comparable skill level and was practicing against Terran, because I don't know if you've noticed it, but Zerg is having a very hard time against Terran, especially in the late stages of this matchup, specifically to the point where Blizzard is addressing it in the form of a patch, maybe thinking about buffing the Overseer speed, as well as giving Vipers a lot of extra energy when they pop out. And I actually don't know. I mean, it sounds like the Overseer is specifically designed to help this matchup, and then the Viper is just make it so that the Viper is more powerful. But I think the Viper will have far more of an effect on this matchup in the late game than the Overseer will, because yeah, the speed buff is nice, but that really doesn't change any matchup. It's not that you can't see the mines. You can see the mines without even an Overseer. You can see the little bump there. But it's more to the point where those mines are so incredibly cost effective that the Zerg race that's already struggling with being cost effective is really put on the back foot, so that by the time you actually get up those Overlords or the Ultralisks, everybody gets the Ultralisks up. That's not the problem. It's just by the time you get it up, you already have 2 of your bases down and you're only on 1 base economy or something like that. Regardless, we're going to talk about this game instead. Hatchery first going down from Todes. He's throwing down that 15 pool immediately thereafter. Earlier gas, but this refinery's already done, so probably going to be a factory being thrown up on the back of this. Maybe get enough gas to throw down an add-on later on. Oh no, that drone from Todes just sneaking in, denying the supply depot from going down. A bit of an obnoxious play there, but don't worry, Wars is not going to be supply blocked anytime soon. The Marine popping out. It looks like that drone's not long for the world. Oh no, he's going to go extractor. Just so you guys know, 1 Marine, the extractor building process actually gains hit points. 2 Marines, it ties hit points, and at 3 Marines or 2 Marines in an SCV, you start to lose hit points. Albeit at a very slow rate. Just so you know, you can actually get away with 2 Marines attacking your extractor, and the hit points really aren't changing. You can actually see that. Still, he's going to let that extractor finish. Really not going to give him much scouting potential, rather just lock down that gas. But we see the reactor going down, so he wasn't going to be using too much gas anyway. CC also coming up, probably going to see a bunker on the low ground sooner or later. Looks like a double queen opening from Todes, so very standard, very standard, very typical. Derelict Watcher is a very large map where you can get away with all sorts of different unit compositions. Not a lot of chokes that you can have to kind of maneuver around. So you can use the Zergling and Mutalisk Infestor style, and you can get out some roaches and actually do a Baneling bust. It's a lot of different opportunities for Todes to be aggressive, as well as for wArSF, because frankly, once you start to expand, the 3rd base is very far away, and Zerg has a hard time defending against drops whenever they're coming hot and heavy. So Wars is definitely going to have a lot of opportunities with the factory going down. They could be drops of the Widow Mines, or he could be doing some Hellions, or maybe even Hellbats. We've seen that make a reappearance in the Masters League. I don't know if you were watching WCS in Korea, but I saw a fantastic play. Who was it? Oh, it was somebody. He had a bunch of Hellbats and Marauder push, and it was absolutely incredible because it hit just a couple of seconds before the Ultralisks got out on the field, and it worked perfectly. Those Hellbats made mincemeat out of the Zerglings, and then he had a buttload of Marauders left over, and he dealt with the Ultralisks just fine. It was a sight to behold. I can definitely tell you that. Todes, his creep spread is pretty much non-existent, but his macro is top form. He's got another queen. Does he have a 4th? No, just the 3 queens, so his creep spread will be coming out eventually. Hopefully it'll be out by the time he can actually take a 3rd, but I don't think he's actually going to be taking a 3rd too soon. He's gearing up like he wants to be aggressive. He's got 16 Zerglings on the way. Metabolic boost is almost done. So whenever these 18 Zerglings are going to be popping out, it looks like a small contingent of Marines are pushing out, and the bunker is being constructed on the low ground. Usually, if this is going to be aggressive, it's about the 6-minute mark, and obviously the larger the map, the later that is. So these Zerglings are going to be coming out and actually going to be catching these Hellions and Marines totally unprepared, and this is actually a big loss for wArSF because he's really not going to have anything back at home to defend this expansion. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens. Immediately lifting off the orbital, canceling everything he's got on the low ground. He's producing Hellions 2 at a time. He's still got them rallied out to the natural. No, he switches that back down to the main. Got Stim on the way. He'll be able to hold this, I think. With the splash damage from the Hellions, you really cannot break this with just Zerglings. And we do not have a mainly nest back at home. We don't have the extra gas income to support that. So I do not think that even with this sheer volume of Zerglings, Todes is going to be able to break this in a cost-efficient manner. We don't have any Zerglings pulled right now, managing to sneak in that last Hellion. Ooh, that's ballsy. That is absolutely ballsy, but so many Zerglings are totally going to be locking this down, at least for the time being. Orbital pushing forward, but even with 4 or 5 Hellions, this is going to be hard-pressed to deal with so many Zerglings. Todes trying to get up to the ramp to actually block the retreat. Actually going to surround on the majority of those Hellions. Only 2 of them remaining, but still with that wall off complete, I don't think Todes is going to be able to break this, and he agrees. He's getting that 3rd hatchery. He's very content with the amount of damage he's done right now. Really keeping Terran on one base like this is really just so harmful to the economy, not only to the mineral income, but more importantly to the gas income. Really just stunts that reactor going down. Still just the 1 tech lab, almost done with Stim, and with that, Todes has stopped pretty much complete production of those Zerglings. He's not keeping up this aggression, just wanted to keep that contained. But with so many Hellions on the field right now, 6 Hellions, really not going to have an issue with dealing with these Zerglings, provided that they don't get surrounded again. Oh man, it's so much fire, so many dead Zerglings. They are running back, but the 3rd saturated now. We've got 8 drones there. We've got the Roach Warren coming up, maybe Lair Tech too. Where are those Evo chambers? Double Evo chambers right up at the ramp. Totally what Todes does normally. And actually with the queen position there, that can actually prevent a run by. Really cool pseudo wall here, making it so that the Hellions have to go all the way around into the mineral field. And then you can just kind of box these drones and send them up to the main. Very cool play. Very, very cool play. Roach Warren is done. Lair Tech is done. So it looks like he's going to be aggressive for round 2. +1 armor, +1 range coming up for the Roaches. And those are going to make mincemeat out of these Hellions. 3rd orbital is done, and it looks like it's being transferred up to the top left-hand side. Hellions are going to clean up the Zergling there, but Todes is going to know that the macro-oriented Wars is thinking about taking a 3rd, and that's all good, fine and good for him, because Wars has got all that tech coming out. He's got Glial Reconstitution and +1/+1. Oh, and even a Hydralisk in. Man, he's really not going to let this go to the late game. And frankly, why would you? Like I've been saying, Zerg has been struggling so much with the late game tech as the Zerg that you can get that mid to late game timing of the Roach and Hydralisk composition. You get good creep spread. That is just incredibly powerful, and it is very difficult to deal with. And it's probably the best bet that Zerg has right now, because it's pretty. Even though Ultralisks are really, really good, if you don't survive to the point where you get those Ultralisks out, why would you even try? Why would you even try? I don't know. That's why I was asking the question. Still no gas being tapped there, but that's okay, because those barracks really had. Oh, there they are. Already had those reactors on it, so he doesn't really need extra gas income or anything like that. The reactor on the starport doubling up on that medevac. Probably going to be seeing some medevac aggression, some drops going on. 1-1 also coming out. Very nice indeed. We got the muscular augments, the Hydralisk speed 2, and not a lot of Roaches on the field right now, just 20. But that is actually 20. That's more than I expected right here. That's like 14. Where are the other guys? I guess they're back at home or being constructed or just coming out. 10 more Roaches on the production tab. Those Roaches are definitely going to make it so that Wars is going to have a very hard time keeping and holding this 3rd, and he agrees. He's getting that supply depot wall around the bunker too. Probably going to be building a lot of Marauders, but like I said, there's so many reactors back at home on those barracks. It's a very mineral heavy and marine heavy composition. However, because he doesn't have a lot of gas into this composition, he doesn't have a lot of Marauders, and that's not going to be trading very well against these Roaches. These Roaches probably will get cleaned up just because of the numerical superiority of Wars, but he's going to be very cost-effective with these Roaches, and he knows it because Todes is just exchanging blow for blow with this, targeting down those Marauders. And wow, look at that Marauder just tanking all of that damage. Still not a total loss, especially considering the fact that he did a hell of a blow to the economy of Wars. 10 workers killed in the advantage of him. 64 over 47 harvesters. Oof. 2-2 beginning. We got a lot of roaches still on the field. Still no Hydralisks, despite the upgrade. I mean, he's got that muscular augment. He doesn't have groove spine just yet, but he'll probably be working on that in a very short amount of time. 6 Hydralisks on the production tab now. Awesome. Fourth base has also been secured, but not really saturated. But that's okay, because you only need the fourth base for gas income, and then only really if you're going to be teching towards a Spire later on. Infestor Pit coming down, maybe thinking about Hive Tech eventually, but like I said, I think that Todes really wants to win this game right now, and he's been doing a good job. He's been doing some economic damage. He denied that natural for a long time. He denied the third once or twice, going for a run by with these Zerglings just to see what sort of shenanigans are back at home. These barracks are probably all going to have tech labs on them eventually, but as just for now, they've got a lot of Zerglings on them, and it looks like that's going to get cleaned up by Wars. What I'm really surprised at is we haven't seen any drop. I saw those medevacs being loaded up, and it was at the same time that that roach pressure was coming out, and that kind of denied the drop from wArSF, and he's been really on the back foot. He's got all these Marines. These Marines are really not going to do much against this roach and Hydra composition. It'd be much better to load up one of those medevacs with these Marines, send them off to one of the 4 bases that Todes has, and distract them, because right now, this is what happens when you don't distract Zerg. They get up this ridiculous death ball, and these Hydralisks are going to be making mincemeat. By the way, we have Groove Spine and 2-2 finishing up as this fight starts. So he's not going to be taking a direct benefit from that right now. Good concave for both players, really, but totally in the advantage of Todes because he just has so much extra money in this composition. And like I said, not nearly enough Marauders. Really, the infrastructure is not there to produce enough Marauders to deal with all these roaches. Burrowing the roaches to get that up. Oh no! Oh no! Walking right on top of those roaches. He doesn't know that they're beginning to heal, and then popping them up. You see the nice juicy target of Hydralisks by themselves, totally unprotected. I bet that wArSF thought that the roaches were going to be heading up to the third to actually do some counter aggression, leaving the Hydralisks behind, and they're so delicate. Hydralisks just melt to any composition that you can get right on top of them. So how can you pass that up? But then walking directly on top of the roaches, oh, that is just absolutely brutal. Oh. And Hive's not quite done either. Hive's not quite done. Look at this infrastructure. This is what I'm talking about. You only have 2 tech labs, and that's 2 Marauders at a time, and that's still, I mean, Marauders are great. They are absolutely fantastic, but you need more of them whenever you're dealing with this number of roaches. Marines are cool too, but they're not nearly as cost effective as a Marauder against this composition. And those Marines are cool, especially whenever you can load up a buttload of them in a medevac and start distracting. But what happened was Todes just started with that aggression of those Zerglings, transitioned seamlessly to the third, and then immediately transitioned over to those roaches and never let up the aggression. And that made it so that Wars really never had an opportunity to go and do some sort of harassment of his own and keep Todes on the back foot. So that was cool. That was actually really, really neat. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts about the latest patch ideas. I have no idea what to think because I'm very poor at guesstimating exactly what what direction the matchup is going to be. I think the Hive, the what's it called? Oh man. Oh whatever. I think it's going to help Protoss. It's going to hurt against the Zerg just a little bit, or Terran against the Terran just a little bit for the Zerg. Wow, I had a stroke. Thanks for watching. I am Ibigandscary. I'll see you guys later. Bye.